I don't really know if I'm going to post this one. This is really out of my league. I'm not the type of person to record emotions, feelings, or things that I'm going through. I discuss that with my inner circle and with God. And so this just feels very strange and out of the ordinary for me. And I just have this really big thing about people who go on the internet and they discuss their business. But again, like I said in my intro video, I know that there is somebody that has gone through, going through, or will go through what I am going through. And I know that there is purpose in this and that our testimony is for the edification of someone else. So, and also too, I'm just really vigilant when it comes to life. Like I test every spirit that I can. I'm not saying at all that I'm perfect, but for example, I've been battling with what I document and what I don't document, what I say, what I don't say, what I share, what I don't share, and whether the Lord wants me to say certain things, to prevent a million questions and to prevent people being all in my business in the first place. And so I'm just sitting here just thinking about the fact that I want to vent about it. And the way that I vent is I talk to God about it, or I'll talk to my sister or my counselor. And I've been going back and forth really about fighting for covenant and just removing myself from the type of marriage that I'm in. I'm not going to give any labels. I'm not going to label it. I'm not going to label it, but if you know, you know. And this is about me. This is for me. This is not to villainize my husband or to make the world feel any kind of way towards my husband. This is not that at all. This is a woman of God dealing with spiritual things, a mom, a wife, and what that crushing, pressing, healing, deliverance, daily life looks like. That's it. This is not even about my husband. This is about the personal journey with the Lord. And so I'm sitting here, and to be honest with you, I have been consumed with trying to get my husband to file a divorce, because as I told y'all, this is my second time filing divorce. And I divorced him. The divorce was finalized January 2025. And then we got married again 6 months later. We stayed together pretty much that whole time anyway. We may have broken up for 3-4 weeks. Like a true breakup. And then we just got right back together. And I've been asking my husband for 3 months, 3 full months for a divorce. And where we live, you have to have a waiting period. And there's no way around that. Except for certain circumstances that don't apply to us. Now, I have turned into a really bad person, or that's how I feel. I became completely unrecognizable to myself. Things that I have learned about myself is control. And my husband said it, but in the way that he said it, it wasn't the case. It wasn't the truth. It was the devil causing him to see me a certain way. But it was also true, because things such as I have been pushing him daily to file this divorce. because in this circumstance, he's the only one who can. I cannot file the divorce because I'm not the one with the documentation that I need. I'll just put it like that. My husband is the only one who was able to get the documentation he needed for us to go ahead and move forward without the waiting period. And it's just been really important to me to separate myself from this marriage because I'm pregnant. I moved somewhere hours away from friends, family. I'm literally around nobody that I know. So if something happens, if there's an emergency, if I need help, nobody can get to me quickly. Not even him. Because when we separated, he moved back to where we came from. And just the level of carelessness that he has exhibited with me being pregnant and this far away, it literally drives me nuts. And I am not at all saying that. First of all, let me preference by saying this. That's not holy. It's not holy to do what I have done. Quite frankly, it's the opposite of what the Lord has told me to do, which was to be still, be quiet, and stay out of it. I have not done that. Every day I wake up, anything that happens to me, any adversity that I face, I definitely go to God about it. And in the beginning, I kind of wasn't like, I was just more upset. I was really angry. And so I would talk to God as his daughter out of anger instead of approaching the situation with surrender and rest. And once I got out of the anger part, then I started really just pressing my husband, because when I would expect him to just show up as a man and a father outside of the fact that we're separated, he wouldn't do it. And so I've been battling with, I'm down here by myself with all of these children. I have my own children plus his. In the past 2 months, we've been sharing the time with our daughter. So she spends time with her dad where he is, and she spends time with me here. And so he helps in that way, and I think that he thinks that that's enough. I think that he thinks that because he has her, that, oh, I'm helping you. Yes and no. But I've had like major things going on down here by myself, and there are several occasions where I needed help, and I'm married, so who was I supposed to call? My husband. And he didn't prioritize it, and that just made me, like, literally, I don't think he can grasp it as a man because he's not pregnant. When I wake up and I have to struggle to get myself up, or our primary bedroom is on the second floor, when I have to carry my big self up them stairs, or when my ankles and my feet are swollen, or when I'm trying to get dressed and I can't get my pants on, or when I'm trying to turn myself in the bed, or any of the adversity that I've faced while he's been away takes place, it makes me eagerly want him out of my life. And that's how I was the first time that we got separated. When we got separated, we got back together, and then that came to an abrupt end. I pushed him so hard to get that divorce because, honey,
device using a screen reader, turn on narrator by pressing Windows plus Control plus Enter. For more accessibility.
Honey was acting like he didn't have no good mind. He created a mess that he didn't know how to fix, and instead of being humbly broken, he He just didn't handle it right, is my point. Because when we don't go to the Lord in true repentance and allow Him to heal us and mold us and shape us and get us through to the other side, it can cause us to break down. And I would just say that must be what he was experiencing. And I just didn't have it. I didn't have it. So I just kept pushing my husband to get the divorce. And he told me he felt like I forced him and I felt like it was premature. And not that I felt like I should have been in that marriage with the things that I had experienced so early on, but I was like, okay, that was definitely my flesh. You know, this was supposed to be for a lifetime. And I know that me and my husband didn't get married for no reason. I know the reasons why I chose him, because of all people, him. I do believe that I made an informed decision, a spiritually informed decision. Obviously, there's something that wasn't right there. I don't know. But my point is, you know, when we talked about it, we decided that it was the right thing to continue to stay on in our relationship. And so here I am again, and I'm pressing him, but I'm pressing him every single day. And I don't know what in the world is going on with that man, but he would not do it. It literally took him until just a few weeks ago to even get the paperwork done. He refused to do it, and I just didn't understand why. And I was all up in my flesh, because I'm telling you, y'all, if I have to put gas in my car, I'll be feeling away. Because why do I have to do this? Why do I have to put gas in my car? I know that's silly. You do not have to tell me. Or if I try to roll over in the bed, I get this pain in my pelvic area. Literally, it's excruciating. I have hollered out in pain when trying to turn myself over in the bed. And then I'm just like, I don't want nothing to do with him. And then he doesn't make it any better, because I speak to him and he almost justifies it. He justifies it. He presents himself very negatively, and it's like he's very confident in the position that he is taking, which is understandable for certain reasons, but at the same time, it's absolutely heartbreaking for the person that you have created a family with and that you trusted God about to not even be able to see the spiritual warfare that they're facing. That's a lot. And so that's another thing. I just feel like he's spiritually unsafe. Like, I feel like he's exposing the marriage, because when you get married, you become one. And our children, the one in my belly and the one he has down there with him, to things. And that's the part. But I'm saying all that to say, sometimes I get glimpses of hope, and not even saying that I want to stay with him. It's not what I'm saying at all. So I've made myself very clear to God on both occasions that I do not want anything to do with this, but I put God over myself. And so I tell God how I feel, and then I say, Lord, forgive me, and your will be done. You tell me what you want me to do, tell me what you need to do. And once I came out of that angry stage, I really, really have been focusing on me. I am not asking God to change my husband. I am trying to get me together. Like, whatever you need to do, Lord, do it in me. Whatever you need to say, whatever you need to take out, whatever you need to change, whatever you need me to see, reveal it to me. Because that has to be the focus. It doesn't matter how it feels. It doesn't matter how it looks. It has to be between me and God. It's not between me and my husband. And whatever my husband got going on ain't between me and him. It's between him and God. So that's been my focus, was just working on the parts of me that turned into the person that I turned into, and even navigating the separation. Now, like I said, I'm not surrendering that separation and divorce part. I've tried. I'm telling you, every day I wake up and I pray. And a part of my prayer is that I just trust God and I stay out of it. Baby, I'm telling you, it'd be sometime in the day that I end up hitting my husband's phone up and be like, hey, can we file these papers? I'm not laughing because it's funny. I'm laughing because sometimes you gotta laugh to keep from crying. And when I speak to my husband, sometimes he just really reminds me, why I do not need to be connected to him. And I'm just like, I be asking the Lord, like, there was a point where I used to, well, I'm not saying I don't argue with my husband, but there was a point where I would be engaged in the conversation, acting like I'm not dealing with spirit. And so lately, my husband get to talking, I just sit quietly. I sit quietly and I just hear everything. And I'm just like, on one end, I'd be like, get me out of this now. On the other hand, I'd be broken. That was so improper grammar. On the other hand, I'm broken for my husband's soul. And then the natural part, we're human, we have feelings. It just hurts my feelings. And today, I'm just like, I feel like I'm always being shown something that presents as if I'm not supposed to be pushing for this divorce. But I cannot say that I have sat still enough to hear the Lord tell me, yes, Deja, you can have this divorce, or no, Deja, you need to be quiet, surrender, and just pray for your husband. Now, he definitely did tell me surrender, but I'm talking about as it pertains to where this marriage keeps going. Because I'm telling you right now, the only reason why I have not completed the divorce is because I am not the one who can get it done. As soon as that year mark comes up, I'm going to have to go into fasting right before, because I don't think he's going to drag it out this long anymore, because I've had him finally take the steps, and we literally have one more to do. And actually, to be real with you, if he don't get it done for me today, I'm going to go do it for my dang self tomorrow. And just pray that it's accepted and we don't have to go before the judge. Because if not, if for some reason this gets drug out and the Lord don't come and stop me in my tracks, soon as that year mark hit, you can best believe I'm out of there. Because what do I look like? Like, I just feel like there's a part of humanity. I feel like there's a part of humanity that a man should have. And I feel like it shouldn't matter what the circumstances are, to a degree. I do mean to a degree. When it comes to having integrity and just taking care of your responsibilities as a father and a man who created a family. So the fact that I've had to do everything by myself, like, your child is alive before they're born. Not to mention, y'all, I've gone through, this is my second time going through this with him. The first time was 100% his fault. This time he's telling me it's my fault because I made him leave. Okay, fine. That's okay. But as a man and a husband, a father, you chose to purposely not show up for something sacred, for one, and two, to make sure I was okay. Literally just left me with all the responsibility. And I'm not saying he didn't try to help here and there, but like he's done made it very clear to me that I created this situation and I have to deal with it. Which is beyond me because I really just expect way more out of my husband. Like I just feel like when it comes to being parents and when you have responsibilities as adults, like your differences should not hinder you from showing up how you should. That's my expectation. And so he chose. That's just how I see it. You took a stance, you chose, you left me to do everything by myself, including make this baby every day. And if I'm by myself doing that, why would I be carrying the name of somebody? That's just insane to me. But again, this is my flesh speaking. I know that this is my flesh speaking, but the stuff that my husband say just cuts. It cuts deep, especially given our history over these past 3 years. And yes, y'all, I am saying just 3 years. 3 years, 2 babies, and nothing but chaos. It just really cuts. And he doesn't get it. He doesn't get how being pregnant and married can be consuming. Like he literally said, this consumes me. And I was lost because when you're married, is that not your life? And then you have a life outside of your marriage. But when you're married, marriage is your life. Everything involved in the marriage, such as the home, the responsibilities, the children, the spouse. I thought that that's your life. And then you have the other parts of your life, like your hobbies, your interests, your career. So, I don't know. I was just really lost by that. I was lost by that statement as if something was wrong with me because my pregnancy, which I'm pregnant every day. I'm pregnant every day. My pregnancy, the circumstances, and the fact that I'm married wouldn't be a part of my daily life. Like I wake up and go to sleep to this. Not to mention, this particularly has been my life for the past 3 years. It was just so, to me, the statement was just so selfish, and it was a low-key crushing, as if I don't have anything better to do with my life. Like, he wouldn't know the half of what I do because he's not involved. But I just had to tell him, like, what? Baby, I get up, I go to work. I take care of 4 other children. Build your baby every day. Deal with people all day long. Then come home, make sure that my house follows the routine it's supposed to follow. Make sure that my children are clean, their clothes are clean, that they get to school every day. And on top of that, I seek the Lord. I read the Bible as much as I can. I'm not gonna say as much as I can. I could do way better. But my attention span is short. I've been trying to work on that. I'd be like, Lord, silence every voice that is not the voice of the Lord. I haven't even had social media on my phone in months. Sometimes I will log in to do certain stuff, and I log right out. I even had my social media deactivated. And then recently, I've been preparing things because, like I said, I do stuff all day long. You don't even know what I have a lot of stuff going on. I'm gonna just say that. I have a lot of stuff going on. I was a person before I met him. And I'm still that same person with that same calling. with the same priorities, the same goals. Like, is he under the assumption that I just sit around and think about him all day? Like, what is happening here? Because it ain't in that kind of way. But I was just offended, to be honest. And I tried, when I first saw it, I said, Lord, I ain't going to be offended by this. But the fact that this man will run around and do any and everything for everybody for where he is, and he got this responsibility, that responsibility, and he got it, and he got it, and you got a whole family hours away around nobody, and you got a nerve to say something like that to me? Like, did you ask me if I wanted to have this responsibility? Did you ask me? Did you ask me if I wanted to continue to take care of our responsibilities by myself? You didn't. You expected me to do so. And because these are my children and this is where I live, that's exactly what I'm going to do. Thank the Lord for him always providing. Did you ask me if I wanted to make a baby every day? My husband didn't ask me. We agreed to have one more child. We already have our own children. And with us having our own children, they make up a lot. We dang near the Brady Bunch, y'all, with this baby that's coming. And we agreed to have one more for him to be able to reconcile from my first pregnancy. For it to end up like this, and I definitely play my part. I'm not gonna say I didn't. I definitely played my part. But I didn't say that I wanted to have no baby right now. It just kind of turned out that way. Cause I don't have birth control, so I didn't grow up like that. And two, I just don't want that kind of stuff in my body. I tried it. I didn't like it. And I just wasn't expecting, that we would get remarried and then boom, be having a baby. But even that in itself, God does not make mistakes. There are no coincidences. This is my husband's second boy. He has girls. And even the fact that we are having a boy is a lot spiritually. I'm going to just say it like that. For now, I'll keep stuff very surface level with y'all. But if you know, then you know what I'm saying. The fact that my husband is even having a boy right now, it's just like, I don't know, I just kind of want to be like, wake up, dude. But anywho, I did not ask to make this baby's organs every day. I did not ask to be big. And I say I'm big for me. I'm not huge. But I didn't ask for this. This is my everyday. But somehow I'm still able to do everything else. Plus have, sought the Lord, stay every day in the Lord's face, even though I'm not getting that exactly how I should be, how I want to right now. It's a process. And the Lord is Jeremiah 33:3. Call unto me and I will answer you. The Lord is going to show up how he wants to, when he wants to, and simply because his child is calling on him. And so it's just like the audacity of that man to send me that text message. I was just like, whoa. And it put this thing on me where I just wanted to push him even harder. And I would go as far as to say that's even a spirit. It was definitely my dysregulated nervous system and that control again, because I don't have the control. And it's almost like I'm at the mercy of somebody else. But I'm at the mercy of somebody that has made it very clear that they don't care to be a part of what they have created. So I don't understand being at the mercy of that person. Because if it was me personally, it would have been done. Especially if I was the type of person who didn't have a close relationship with the Lord, and I didn't see things in the spirit, the way that the Lord would have us to, and I had limited knowledge. Basically what I'm saying is fully living out my own will. There's nothing you could do to stop me. If it was me, if I said that I don't want to be with you, or I don't want to be a part of that, or I don't want to be a part of how the situation is going down, and I have an out, you can best believe that I'm going to make it shake. So it just enrages me. It just enrages me because what it does is it presses on this wound that my husband gave me years ago. And it's the same wound that keeps getting reopened over and over and over. And he doesn't understand. He doesn't understand. And it's frustrating. Very frustrating. Because I just be like, Lord, how am I supposed to, like, what do you want me to do with that? I'd be like, Lord, what do you want me to do with that? Now, I'd be like, Lord, how am I supposed to feel? How am I supposed to feel about that? How do you want me to respond to that? Like, I just be appalled. Like, who says stuff like that to their pregnant wife? But then again, my husband's like, who says stuff like that to their husband? And sometimes he's right. Sometimes he's right. But I wish I could tell y'all more, because if I told y'all the details, y'all would be locked in. Y'all would be locked in, but that's not what I'm here for. I'm still figuring it out. I'm still filtering through. And really, I thought this was just going to be like a short little video that I could upload for a short. But this is day... Is it Sunday? Ain't no way. This is day 3 of filing for divorce for the second time. As a woman of God. And I'm saying that because I'm learning throughout this process. I'm learning some things. And I have anointed voices that I trust. And I will say that even when people walk really close with the Lord and they say that they are not speaking from religion, there is still a cap. And even hearing me say this, I need to say to be very cautious and test every spirit and just take it back to the Lord. But I'm going to just tell you, the fullness of the Lord and his wisdom can only come from him. I'm going to just say it like that. It can only come from him. It is not in the Bible alone. That is his word. That is his instruction manual. And with the Holy Spirit, he will reveal and speak to you and tell you things. You could read the same scripture and he could tell you a million different things. But he has tools that he placed here on earth for us to be able to use. And even people who walk closely with God can be at a cap, is what I'm saying. there can be a hindrance and a limitation based on your surrenderance to God and what you think is right. So I say the woman of God part because there's controversy when it comes to divorce and women who believe in God. But people leave out the free will part. And you cannot quote scriptures and say that God hates divorce and talk about what'll happen to your heart if a divorce takes place, and leave out all the other scriptures about how he is close to the brokenhearted and how he will heal and restore and how he makes you new. And my story is not everybody's story, because there's also scriptures in there about dry bones coming to life. There's also the prodigal son who returns back to the father. These are metaphors that you have to be able to have the Holy Spirit or to apply it to whatever situation pertains to you. There's the road of Damascus experience. We've all been there. We've all been prodigal children. We've all been Saul to Paul, Paul to Saul. We've done it. We all have. And so it can be different, but what I'm saying is nothing should ever be presented out of fear. Nobody should quote one scripture to you as in to present a holy fear of what comes next if God is truly your Father. If he is Abba to you, that means that all his word applies to you. And simply put, we can't pick and choose what we want out of the Bible to apply to a situation. We have to ask the Lord. With all that being said, as vague as I am being, I really hope that my journey is just accomplishing the will of God. That's all I can say. Whatever that is, I hope you find comfort in knowing that you're not alone. I hope you find comfort in knowing that it's okay to be a human being while believing in God. It's okay to feel what you feel. It's okay to make the mistakes that you make. You don't even have to be in a place of forgiving yourself to receive the forgiveness of God. He can give it to you. Now, it can definitely hold you up, but we have to understand that our Father gives to us freely. I'm not saying that using the daughter card or the son card, because this isn't gender specific. I'm not here just for pregnant women who are married or moms who are married. Whoever and whatever the Lord brings to this. You're free to be you. There is a minister, Tia Cooper. I know her personally. She's a powerful woman of God. And she has a movement called Be You. And you are free to be you. It just made me think of her because I said free to be you. You're free to be you. And you let the Lord lead you, guide you. Pray for your destiny helpers. Pray for the people that are going to cover you, uplift you, correct you, and be able to hear God's voice for you when you can't. Again, be very cautious with that, because even when people have good intentions, that does not mean that they are being spirit-led. Especially now in these times, the word tells us to be very cautious about the people who present themselves as leaders, because the very elite will be led astray. That ought to tell you something. The people who have the most wisdom will be led astray. So keep your heart pure and before the Lord. If you make a mistake, you act out in anger, pain, frustration, because I'm talking about this affects my children too. They don't know what's going on, but even the way I'm handling my children, which I will probably speak about that one day, whenever it comes up. Oh, just give yourself grace. Ask your children for grace if they're not old enough to understand. And just don't hold yourself in a place of condemnation. Receive love and forgiveness from the Father. When you're hurting, switch your mind to a prayer. In the beginning, I had to continually tell myself the prayer, set your mind on things above, over and over. I'm talking about, the Bible says cast down every thought. I had to take those thoughts captive immediately, or I would have been acting nuts. I know my husband's sick of me now. Baby, if I wasn't praying to the Lord, if I was letting that anger take over me, if I was letting the seeds that the devil was planting in my head really take hold, that man would have thought I was pure crazy, because I would have been acting a daggone fool. And he already think I'm crazy. It would have been worse. Because the devil was literally trying to drive me crazy with thoughts. And that's why you have to have a true relationship with the Lord. And just know that someone else's actions are not personal to you. There might be a lot of things you need to work on. But if you, down in your heart, know who you are, whose you are, and you don't have the spiritual scales over your eyes because you have prayed to the Lord and you have surrendered and asked that the Lord, deliver you. And we need continual deliverance, okay? You cannot take personal what somebody else does. And vice versa. The person that I turned into, even though I feel like my husband contributed to that, he can't take that personal. My actions were my actions. My words were my words. I am still accountable for that. Period. And so, just grace. Giving yourself grace. Knowing that everything that you're going through right now, the Lord wants. I hate to be the person that tells you that, and I don't know if somebody gonna see this and hop in my comments and say whatever, I don't care. The Lord wants you to go through what you're going through for whatever reason it is, so that he can get out of you whatever is in you, so that he can draw you closer, so that your testimony can help someone else, so that you can break generational curses. Things are happening for you. They're not happening to you. And that is something that I had to learn in what I thought was my Job season. I thought I had already gone through it a couple years ago. So I'm like, Lord, why are we back here? But hey, clearly there was more that the Lord needed to get out of me. Anyways, my name is Deja. I'm a mom of soon to be 6, going through a divorce for the second time to the same man. I don't know what this will turn out to be. I have no idea. My name is not God. I don't know the plans. I'm just here. And I hope that my transparency and doing something that I really would never in my life do is somehow beneficial to you, and that the Lord get the glory.